Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Every leader has a journey. With the leader speak, I'm trying to get to know their journey, what are the hurdles they have faced, and how they are actually trying to overcome. How does the day look like? What are the things that they do? There are many things that we can learn from them. I would like to thank you and wonderful person, Ritesh. He's the chairman and CEO of CYFIRMA. He's also the member of Forbes Technology Council. Thank you so much for joining me, Ritesh. Such a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks very much for having me here.
So we'll start off with getting to know your venture. There are so many things that you are doing, and a few years back you started your own venture. So we wanted to know your journey. How did you start? What are the things that actually came your way that you thought, okay, this is the time that I should start my venture?
Sure. So let me dive into it. We are actually a 4 years old cybersecurity company. We specialize in threat discovery and cyber intelligence. We've got now 4 offices: Singapore, Tokyo, India, US. We are now a unit of 55 people today. I still remember this was a very humble start 4 years back. Myself has started this. Of course, we were supported by Goldman Sachs, Zodius Capital, and Z3. They are our shareholders who actually supported our agenda. But it has been quite a journey for us. Like in last 4 years, what we have achieved, we are super proud of that. Today we work with Fortune 500 company globally, and they are into manufacturing, financial institution, you name it, critical infrastructure, food and beverages, and as well as number of actually government agencies with whom we work. We have actually built a SaaS-based platform. We call it as Decipher. This is really actually solving 4 fundamental problems of cybersecurity. That was the prime reason why we started CYFIRMA, to be honest. The very first problem is going back into the fundamental of really understanding, who are those cyber criminals who have got interest in our organization? Why are they interested? Their motivation. What do they want from the organization? Do they want intellectual property? Do they want PII, CII? What is the real matter there? When can they potentially attack? Like how ready are they? And how are they going to attack? And, to be honest, back in 2017, when we were looking at this space, we saw a lot of actually cybersecurity companies focusing on the how part, but clearly there was a gap towards answering the who, why, what, when. And we really sort of wanted to answer those 5 probable questions. And if you look at Decipher, that is exactly what Decipher actually delivers to our client and customers. We always deliver a predictive intelligence insight, which is all about, what is coming towards you? What is your external threat landscape looks like and how it looks like, how lucrative you look like in front of cyber criminals. So we kind of deliver that insight to our client and customers. We always try to personalize our insight so that it is very specific to your industry, your technology, your geolocation from where you are operating from, and then combining that with the fundamental of actually intelligence, or I would say external threat visibility, which is really giving you a view of your attack surface, combining that with vulnerability intelligence, bundling that with your brand intelligence and your situational awareness, going back to your digital risk, and then overarching that with your cyber intelligence capability. That's what we deliver. And, by looks of it, the way we got it started, Vandana, of course, there was a lot of questions in those days. Today, where we are actually in our really growth trajectory. And I clearly see that all the hard work has actually started to come in our favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see the things that you and the organization is doing. It's commendable. It's amazing.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm sure it's not a piece of cake or an easy walk. There are so many hurdles that come your way, maybe every day, maybe every week. So what are those hurdles and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, no, it's a good question you ask. Actually, if you look at it, right, generally when I go about planning my day, and it's quite difficult as, if you look at a life of entrepreneur, it's always a little bit challenging. Things do change. But when I look at my day, I always look at, tactically, what am I supposed to do today? What is that I can do today to move the needle? And you always are going to have business challenges. You're always going to have people side of things. You're always going to have, product challenges, trying to fit the product into a new environment. And you're going to have other challenges coming in towards you. And how do you tackle those? I think effectively is what I really put into my tactical category. I always have a nature, and this has been there for many, many years, Vandana. I always plan for a week. You might have heard from other entrepreneurs, they plan for years and years. I think in our Vantage view, we kind of want to, first of all, execute on our weekly Vantage view before we get into the yearly view. So I always look at, okay, what are those 3, 4 things which we can potentially do to get near to our objective, right? And of course, I keep a very, very close eye on our weekly aspirations, which is part of my day again. And then going back to a strategic view, right? You as an entrepreneur, you always have to keep that objective in your mind that, hey, you've got your product, you're going to be launching yourself into new market. You have to have the innovation agenda. You need to build out a right culture there. And you do actually spend a lot of time on that. And in a day, if you ask me, I surely allocate few hours for my strategic sort of imperatives.
Yeah, thank you. Now, based on the learnings that you have had, like for a new entrepreneur like me who wants to start their career as an entrepreneur or start their journey as an entrepreneur, if you can share some of the advices that a person can think of, because there are startups which fail, there are startups which flourish. There is always a learning which is there. So, can you please share from your experience the learnings that you've got?
No, it's a great question you ask, Vandana. Again, I would actually give just 3 advice, and it's purely coming out of my experience. When you get started with your young company, you're always going to get challenged. Vandana. The whole world is going to say to you that this is not the right platform to be in. The product is not going to work. There's no way we can get to the place, our aspiration. Don't give up. Don't give up. You need to be quite firm in your head first before you can drive the organization and the people. If you have a very strong conviction that this is going to work, carry forward that. Very, very important. Number 2, I would say, bring right set of people around you. You're not going to be a champion of everything. You're never going to be like that. And I was not, if you look at my journey. But you have to assemble the right set of people around you. It's very, very important. You're not going to be able to do everything by yourself. How are you bringing the best possible talent around you matters a lot. And the third important part is like, which path do you want to take? Vandana, it's always, you're always given 2 directions. Whenever you are in a challenging situation, there's going to be one direction where you're going to see it's an easy way, well, which can give you a quick outcome and you're all sorted. You're going to have another path where you're going to see a lot of a struggle, a lot of hustle. But if you enjoy that, I think, always, let's take this back a little bit. Which story would you love to read? A story where, somebody actually started, he was given everything on hand and he became super successful, or you want to read a story of somebody who struggled a lot, who had a lot of a struggle before he saw the success or she saw the success. And I think all of us as a human being, I'm very sure you're going to go towards the struggling story. I would say don't take a struggle as a hard stand. Go with it. That's the whole thing, I would say, from my perspective.
On the same lines, there's something that just clicked me. There are entrepreneurs which say that they always go with plan A, B, C. Like if something happens to plan A, they can go with plan B or plan C. What's your take on that?
See, no, it's a good point you made. See, you always need to have plan A, B, and C. I kind of agree. But, sometimes you're going to be under a situation, Vandana. Look at the situation we are in right now. We are right bang in the middle of something unprecedented, which we have never seen ever before. And you can plan as much as you can, but this was not even if in any plan, not even if in A, B, or C plan, to be honest. And we had to just face this challenge. And today, if you ask me, right, my biggest challenge of the day is, how do I keep my people's mental being in the right place? That's the most important thing. It used to be, if you ask me a year and a half back, it used to be always about, how do I deliver the right sort of value to our customers, to our shareholders, and continue to expand our business. I think that has gone away a little bit. Right now, the focus is all about keeping ourselves intact, keeping my people intact, because that's the most important thing which we have got right now. So yeah, plan A, B, C, great, we can plan that. But you look at the situation we are in right now. I don't think so anybody planned for this, to be honest.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And very wonderful point that mental health of the people who are working with you, who are working for you, is very, very important. If they are sane, I think things will fall in place, maybe in 6 months, maybe in 1 year, or maybe down the line 2 years, but things will fall in place.
Yeah, true. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ritesh, for sharing the wonderful insights and wisdom with us. It's such a pleasure to talk to you again after so many years.
No, thank you so much, Vandana, for having me again, and looking forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Ritesh.
Lovely.